Moving on to Leeds, where the Leeds owner, Parag Marath, has said, quote unquote, whatever they will let us spend, we will spend in order to survive the Premier League next season. How much is that likely to be? Because this has been a lot of the question around Daniel Farke is he's never been backed correctly, hence his very poor Premier League record. But how much backing could he really potentially get without Leeds being in trouble?
It's a really tough question. Now, I know already that they're looking at having to pay out just over £20 million of promotion bonuses to the squad already. So that's a big number that's going to come off the whole potential expenditure. I had put it somewhere around 60 million as the number that I thought they could spend. There's a real issue here about promoted clubs. I think they should be allowed to increase the amount they can spend, whereas that would have to be approved by the Premier League overall. And of course, clubs like Man United and Spurs, who finished 16th, 17th potentially this season, will be voting against giving promoted clubs a better chance to increase their spending power. Because, why would they want those clubs coming up to have a better chance than them? But I think it's grossly unfair that they can't at least do more, because the allowances coming up from the Championship means that you haven't got the full Premier League allowance. In fact, Leeds would, I think, as I understand it, would have to be in the Premier League for another 2 seasons to be able to have the full allowance of losses. So it then leaves Parag Mathé with an option of, do I just take the risk like Forest almost did and spend more and take the points deduction? I've got a feeling that Leeds will back them all the way. Now, he has backed Farke. He has said, I'm going to keep him. He's going to stay there. I think that's the right decision to have stability in the manager. And as you said earlier, Will, he wasn't backed properly. I think when he came up with Norwich, he only was given £9 million, is what the story goes, that he was only given to spend, which is ridiculous to try and exist in the Premier League. You really should be looking for at least 50, 60 million at a minimum, depending on the strength of the squad that you have coming up. And he's got to assess it as to how many of those are Championship quality players and how many does he think can really do a job in the Premiership. Now, he's got Premiership experience. He's got great Leeds experience. The club's got a lot of things going on, and they will back him. As the chairman just said, they'll back him as far as they can. So I think he will go to the chairman and make convincing arguments for certain positions where he needs to strengthen and why that will be the case. And I think they will take the chance to stay up there. And I think they will take the chance on a points deduction. And I think they're right to have a go at that. And that's the jeopardy, I think, that you're going to have to look at these days. They've got the resources. And I think it's so hard to get this chance to come up to the Premiership. Why waste it, when you're up there by tinkering around the edges and planning for going back down again? So it's going to be brave, but I think just that extra player, so pushing up from maybe 50, 60 million up towards the 80 to even 100, and getting that squad depth and that squad strength could be the difference, I think, because we're seeing now this season a very even league. Even though Liverpool did win it by a few points, the rest of the league has been pretty competitive. Certainly the top and the bottom half of the 10 clubs has been very competitive. So it will be, again, I think, even more so next year. So I think you'll see Leeds push the boat out and take some risks with PSR.
And you mentioned that they're likely to keep Daniel Farke. Do you feel that Leeds winning the title, not just getting automatic promotion, has helped Daniel Farke's chances of keeping that job?
Well, yeah, the chairman's announced that he's going to stay with him, so he's come out in full support. I think the Championship, yes, it would have been very, very cruel to have done it. And I think, as I mentioned last week, it's going to be wrong because there's too many things going on at Leeds right now with stadium redevelopment, the CEO's leaving, lots of things happening. There's the Rangers deal going on, a lot of moving parts at Leeds. And so to have a new manager coming in and trying to bed in would have been just too much change. And so I think Farke is a decent enough manager with Premier League experience. I think coming up as champions, I think he's got a chance to do this. The squad will be united. They've obviously got behind him and played for him. So he knows what's going to, the challenge they're up against. It's going to be tough. I still find it very hard to believe that Angus Kinnear is CEO of the Leeds at the moment and also coming up to Everton. I don't know what they do there when Jack Harrison says, okay, do I go back on loan to Leeds or do I stay at Everton? Or if an agent comes with a player to him and he doesn't know which team to buy him for. It's strange. So Look, Leeds have got enough challenges just now, and I think that they've made the right thing. And certainly, being champions hasn't hurt, and it's given everybody a lift going forward. So their problems now are, as we just discussed, are in with the checkbook and what they're going to be able to spend and the risks they're going to take with PSR and getting things done.